Hello, Deane Olmstead, Manager of Training and Development for Times Fiber. Today we're going to do several modules to show you how not to make an analog connector in a digital world. The first module segment we're going to talk about is the tools you need to do your job. First thing you're going to need, cable cutters. Varieties out there, 9s that most people are used to using, cable shears that are actually better because when they do cut the cable, they make a perfectly round connector or a cable cut, which makes it easier for you to connectorize. Next thing up we're going to show you is gripping tools. Several opportunities out there to use them. Gloves like this, a cable gripping puck like this. The reason people would use something like this is when you go to hold a piece of cable and you're putting a connector on, very often your hands are slippery, the cable's wet, you tend to slide down. What you want something to do is to hold the cable steady without damaging it. Something that technicians used to do over the past was hold it with a pair of their pliers, their 9s. Fortunately, when you do that, you damage the cable, you change the impedance. So what we wanted to do is promote the use of a non-damaging piece of equipment to do that. Next thing up are prep tools. The prep tools are used to make sure that you have the perfect quarter prep that's required for all connectors to go on. That creates a 5/16 plus or minus 1/32 center conductor and rolls back the braid a 1/4 inch once you prep it out. Several types are out there. You'd be used to using what you like, but they come in different varieties. One style does not have any kind of a stop on it, so what you want to do to use the tool properly is put the cable right to the end of the blades, put your finger over it, that's where you would make your turns. Newer styles have a positive stop, you insert to the cable stops, and then start your turning. Now, blade life, that's a big issue to a lot of technicians. Average is 1,500 turns that you can get out of our 1,500 connectors, but what you should really listen for is when you turn it, how many times do you have to go around till you hear the braid stop cutting? With the tool properly placed on the cable, I like to give it a slight pinch to get it started, just so it doesn't wander at all, and turn around and listen to how the braids are cutting. When you hear the braid stop cutting, grip the tool, pull it off, and there you go. You've got your 5/16 center conductor and you've got your 1/4 inch prepared for your braid to fold back. When you've pulled this off, inspect it. Make sure that all the braids are cut. An indication that you need new blades is you've left longer pieces of braid in there, which can tend to wrap around the center conductor and short out the connector. Next thing up we're going to show you is what we call as a braid brush. Standard procedure over the years has been for everybody to roll this down with their finger or their thumb, stab themselves in the wintertime in a colder climate. It's uncomfortable. And another thing that we recommend that you don't do anymore is when you touch the braids or the center conductor, you are leaving corrosive oils from your fingers on those connectors. If you just, if it's hot, you're sweating, you've put lotion on, you've used hand cleaner, those all enhance the corrosion of the braid and the center conductor. So we highly recommend use a braid brush, something to just gently roll the braid down. Now it's very important to get the braid down evenly because the proper prep makes the connector going easier. And if a braid brush isn't available, my old standby from my days as a technician was a stiff bristled toothbrush. Make sure it's not your wife's or somebody's from home. Alright, you prep the cable. The next tool you're going to want to be using would be a compression tool. Once the connector is on, use a proper connector tool or a compression tool for what you're going to be doing. Now these have to be calibrated, they'll come with a tuning slug, you should check them out. Make sure every once in a while just verify that it's got the right stroke length. But use the tool, seat it down, put the cable in. When you put the cable in, hold it down so it doesn't wander up and bend on the connector, and you just compress it down. That's the easy part. Now, what do you do when you go to tighten it up? There's always been a big discussion on tightening up a connector, and there are a variety of tools out there. Standard 7/16 inch wrench that everybody has used for years carries on their tool pouch. A lot of people prefer the little aluminum ones to reach into tight spots. I prefer one of these, the security sleeve tool with one end smaller for getting into tight spots and tightening things up. Next tools up, torque wrenches. Use the one that is proper for the connector and what your company recommends to get the proper tightening of the connector when you put it on. Thank you, and have a productive day.